So, is the CLX Set Gaming PC actually worth buying, or is it just another high-priced box that only hardcore gamers will ever appreciate? I've been running this machine for a couple of weeks now, and I'm going to lay out exactly who gets the most out of it and where it might fall short. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the heart of this rig is the Intel Core i9-12900KF. That 3.2 GHz chip, with its mix of performance and efficiency cores, handles modern titles and even the most demanding workstation tasks without breaking a sweat. If you're the type who streams while you game, edit video on the side, or dabble in 3D rendering, you'll notice the system staying responsive while other builds start to lag. Pair that with the GeForce RTX 4060 and you've got a GPU that pushes high settings at 1440p smoothly, and still manages decent 4K frame rates in less texture-heavy games. I tested a few recent releases, Cyberpunk 2077, Horizon Forbidden West, and even some indie titles like Hades, and the experience was consistently fluid, with the occasional boost from the RTX's DLSS tech. Memory is another area where this PC tries to make a statement. 32 GB of DDR4 RAM that's not just functional but also RGB lit, so you get a bit of flair if you like that kind of thing. For me, that amount of RAM means I can keep a dozen browser tabs, a couple of editing suites, and my game client all open without any stutter. If you're someone who likes to multitask, or you run virtual machines for testing, the extra headroom is noticeable. And the storage layout is pretty thoughtful, a 1TB NVMe M.2 SSD for your OS, games, and frequently used apps, plus a 4TB HDD for bulk media and archives. I've already moved a massive collection of Steam titles onto the SSD, and the load times dropped dramatically compared to the days when I was stuck on a spinning drive. Thermal performance is worth mentioning, too. The 240mm AIO liquid cooler keeps the i9 from hitting those alarmingly high temperatures you sometimes see in older high-end builds. In my real-world sessions, sometimes 8 hours straight of Battle Royale matches, the CPU stayed in the low 70s Celsius range, and the fan noise was well below the level that would be distracting. That means you can game late into the night without waking the whole house. The power supply is sized appropriately for the components, so you don't have to worry about sudden drops or the need for a separate upgrade down the line. Now, let's talk about practicality. The pre-installed Windows 11 Home makes the setup process straightforward. The OS boots quickly from the SSD, and the drivers for the RTX 4060 come bundled, so you're not spending hours hunting down the right versions. If you're a beginner who doesn't want to dig through BIOS settings, this is a nice point. For the more seasoned builders, the case is still reasonably easy to open if you want to tweak airflow or swap out drives later, which gives you flexibility without committing to a fully custom build. When I started using this machine for creative work, editing 4K footage in Premiere Pro, the rendering times were roughly 20% quicker than my previous mid-range desktop. That's a tangible benefit if you're on a deadline and need to move projects along fast. For gamers who like to crank the graphics settings to the max, the RTX 4060 still provides a stable 60 frames per second at 1440p in most AAA titles, which means you're getting a smooth experience without needing to lower texture quality or turn off ray tracing entirely. The system also supports ray-traced shadows in games that make good use of it, giving you a visual edge that many cheaper rigs simply can't deliver. In terms of the drawbacks, the chassis itself is on the bulkier side. It's a solid black tower that looks great on a desk, but it does take up more space than a slim mini PC. If you have a compact setup, you'll need to allocate a decent amount of floor or desk real estate. The price point also reflects its high-end components, so it's not the most budget-friendly option for someone just wanting a casual gaming machine. Finally, while the SSD is fast, the 1TB capacity can fill up quickly if you install a lot of large games or keep massive video files on it. You'll probably end up using the 4TB HDD for most of your storage anyway. Overall, I'd say the pros are the strong CPU-GPU combo that handles both gaming and creative workloads, the ample and speedy storage setup that separates OS and data, and the effective cooling solution that keeps noise low during long sessions. The cons are the larger physical footprint and the premium price that might deter users who don't need the extra horsepower. If you're looking for a ready-to-play machine that won't force you into a lot of upgrades down the road, and you can afford the cost, this PC checks a lot of boxes. That's it for my rundown of the CLX set.